Hi everyone, welcome to my first episode of my 5-episode series on addiction and the impact of families. My name is Estella Ferrari. I'm a second-year nursing student, currently finishing up my mental health and maternity clinical rotation. Today I want to talk about my experience with addiction and how this has shaped me to the person I am today and how this will continue to impact my career. So get comfortable, grab yourself a tea, and let's get into it. So as I mentioned in my portfolio website, Jessica was my best friend all through childhood. We had our cottages right next to each other, and there was never a day where I did not spend with her during the summers up until high school. For me to explain her story would require an hour and many breaks for myself to get through, as I'm still in the process of healing. Instead, I like to focus more on the impact of her family and those closest to her. Jessica was brilliant. She's a funny girl, and she had the most purest, goldest heart that I'd ever seen. She loved living freely and on the wild side, which made me want to do the same. I try to remember her as that girl to this day because that's who she was. And what came next was her addiction. Addiction is a complex thing to understand, and even though there's so much research around it and education, you never really truly understand what it is until it happens to you. And even I still don't get it. In the simplest of terms, the Addiction Center states that the effects of addiction can be both short and long term, making peaceful, loving homes divided by the constant pressure of the abuse. Conflict becomes something normal, and family members don't know what's going on with their loved ones. Parents often think, like, what did I do wrong? Or what is my child doing wrong? Or why can't they fix it? And they don't get that. They don't understand it. Families can break, losing trust, and communication becomes very difficult and typically ends up with even more conflict and frustration for everyone involved. Dr. Ashish Bhatt researched this struggling family dynamic and found that when one member is addicted, the family as a whole can be negatively impacted by withdrawals, financial hardship, reckless behavior within the home, stealing money, running away from home, and parental grief. Jessica's family went through all of this. I hate to say that she became a statistic because that's not at all what she is, but she did become vulnerable to sexual exploitation and was reporting missing pretty much yearly and spent over a year in federal custody. As a nurse using relational inquiry, I'd ask myself, what can I do for this patient right now to give them a sense of hope? Although I will never know what it's like to be in the place of addiction and pain, I like to be able to offer the best help possible. Leading up to Jessica's passing in the summer, she was admitted to CAMH about a month before her passing. After a week of going through withdrawals, she was kicked out of CAMH for her violent behavior. As a nurse in this position, I'd like to ask what's the best way to support my patient to avoid something like this, ultimately leading to supporting the client and their family. Really what I want to get down to is how can the nurse facilitate this reconnection of a torn family and their loved ones. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you at the next one. Bye.